We trust our ears to build a map of the world around us. They orient us in space, allowing us to navigate environments and identify threats before they even enter our line of sight. Physically, sound consists of invisible fluctuations in air pressure. In any real-world environment, those pressure waves don't travel in a straight line from a source to your ear. They strike walls, floors, and surrounding objects, ricocheting in thousands of different directions at once. If your brain processed every one of those reflections objectively, you wouldn't hear a coherent environment. You would experience a continuous, overwhelming wall of sonic static. To prevent that sensory overload, your brain utilizes a specific set of auditory hacks. It actively filters the raw data, using specific physical cues to track motion and pinpoint location. In this sense, hearing functions as an act of real-time curation rather than passive reception. Imagine standing perfectly still on a modern train platform. A heavy commuter train approaches, blasting a warning horn. The pitch sounds high as it barrels toward you, dropping significantly the moment it passes. Despite that perceived shift, the train's horn is emitting a single, constant frequency. The mechanical source never changed. As the train moves forward, its velocity bunches the sound waves together, creating a higher pitch. When it passes, waves stretch out, dropping the pitch. A mathematical formula governs this sweep, letting the brain calculate an object's exact speed. This allows the auditory system to convert frequency shifts into immediate data about moving objects in your environment. Now, consider a listener seated perfectly centered between a left and a right speaker in an acoustic testing room. If both speakers play identical sounds at identical volumes, you perceive a balanced phantom image directly in the center of the room. But if we keep the volumes identical and delay the signal to the right speaker by just 40 milliseconds, the balance shifts. You now perceive the sound as coming only from the left speaker, even though the right speaker is still active and loud. In this chart, the initial energy spike is the anchor, establishing the sound's directional location through the law of the first wavefront. If secondary reflections arrive within a 50 millisecond window, the brain fuses them with the original signal, making the sound louder, not divided. If that delay exceeds roughly 80 milliseconds, the fusion breaks down. The brain finally identifies the second arrival as a distinct, distracting echo. By prioritizing the timing of the first arrival over raw volume, the brain maintains spatial clarity, even in highly reflective environments. Audio engineers use these psychoacoustic hacks to maintain realism in massive venues like auditoriums or cathedrals. In a large room, the speakers mounted in the back are often physically closer to the audience than the performer on stage. Without intervention, the sound would seem to originate from the ceiling rather than the stage. Engineers solve this by delaying the sound to those local speakers by a few milliseconds. They ensure the unamplified sound from the stage reaches your ears just before the reinforced sound from the speaker above you. Because the stage sound arrives first, the brain identifies the performer as the source, even though the local speaker is providing most of the volume you actually hear. From the way you react to a siren on the street to the way you experience a performance in a concert hall, your perception of the world is mediated by these biological filters. This plot visualizes the integration of frequency, energy, and time. Managing a sonic environment depends on the precise correlation of all three variables.